Hi there, I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. In today's video I wanted to give you just a quick update on the current market situation. Quite a lot of coins started moving in the recent days and well, the market looks a bit more optimistic than it did for the last few weeks or months. So I think it's definitely worth having a quick look at what's going on and where we are likely to go from here. If you like my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you do like this content, if you'd like to find out a bit more, please do also check out the link in the description to my private Discord. It's now open and you can find quite a bit more information there. Especially over the last couple of days, people started getting quite a bit excited because, well, a lot of the altcoins started moving quite a lot. And that's not really surprising because Bitcoin is staying above its bull market support band and seems to be holding it as support. We'll come back to Bitcoin in a minute and the overall crypto market situation. But if we look at my usual list of gaming alts, well, you can see that quite a lot of them in the last 7 days went up quite considerably. A lot of them went up like 40%, 60% and so on. Last 24 hours, there was a tiny bit of a pullback, but to be honest, I think that largely happened in the last few hours, because certainly yesterday evening, there was still stuff moving up quite nicely. So in terms of the projects I usually look at, not much really is changing here. You may notice that I added Wilderwall to the list of tokens I'm looking at. I'm not currently invested in this one, but I'm considering it as one potential option. Other stuff, well, Vulcan Forged moved quite nicely, 40% gain in the last week or so. Titan Arena started moving a bit, about time. Veracity is doing really well. It was sitting around 2 cents for quite a while, or just above 2 cents. So it gained around 50% since then, which is really good to see. It's one of the tokens I'm really bullish on and probably one of my biggest altcoin bags, if not the biggest at the moment. So I'm definitely observing this one. Some of them are a bit slow, like CDFI, that's not really doing that much. Communitas dipped a little bit. NFT worlds are not really moving much. Network picked up a bit, but again, not massively. Altura has been relatively slow as well. So these are some of the potential tokens which may be worth looking into if you want to get into projects which still didn't pump quite as much as other ones. Some of those projects are getting to the levels where they were when I first started investing in them. I think actually Vulcan Forged, probably vast majority of my investment was around $13, so now it's actually above that. Superfarm, that's roughly the price, my average purchase price for this token, maybe again also slightly above. I've mentioned Veracity, that's definitely now solidly in profit. So I'm starting to be quite a bit more picky what I'll put my money into. At the moment, over the next few days, I don't think I'll be investing in anything. I want to see what the market will do, and I'll talk about this in a minute. But the projects I'm definitely keeping close eye on are, as always, Vulcan Forge, Superfarmer, though I'm happy with my position there. Potentially Remark. I don't have a huge position in this one, and I was thinking about increasing it. Titan Arena maybe, although again, I don't want my position to be too big in any one project. I'm looking at Wilderwall. I'm kind of always thinking about adding more to Veracity, plus, well, I'm earning interest on Veracity, so my position in that is growing anyway, but I'm really bullish on it, and yeah, I may put quite a bit more in this one. CDFI, I think this has huge potential for growth. If crypto gaming bull run is fully back on, gaming launchpads will be massive. So something like CDFI or Communitas will go up massively, or are likely to go up massively. The thing with CDFI is that they established themselves as probably the biggest gaming launchpad, and they have some really huge partnerships. So I'm sure there will be a lot of hype around this one. So I think it will pump a lot. D-Race, which I mentioned in my previous video, I don't have a position in it, but I'm really tempted to get into it. I said in the previous video that I felt like on quite a few previous occasions I missed out on it. So at the moment it's bouncing around $1.6, $1.7. I think its all-time high was around $8 or so. And yeah, I can see this one doing really, really well. And the market cap is quite sensible. Essentially, when it comes to those individual games, like Titan Arena, The Race, Define, and so on, or Definia, I think, well, they are, of course, really risky investments. And while I think all of them will pump in a bull run, I expect that very few of them will go like absolutely parabolic. I'm sure all of them will do reasonably well, especially that a lot of them are currently at really low prices. But at the moment, I'm still not 100% sure which ones are the ones I want to like properly go into. So at the moment, I'm only putting relatively small amounts of money in gaming projects. The bigger amounts are going into projects such as I said many times before, Vulcan Forge, Remark, Veracity. I want to increase my position. I already have a large position in Altura, but I would like to increase my position in Network, and yeah, potentially thinking about Wilder World now as well. So yeah, but I'm still being a little bit cautious here, and I'll talk about this in a sec. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is now sitting firmly in the neutral territory. It's been bouncing around that level for a while. It did touch greed for a moment, but yeah, things improved a lot since, well, March or early March and February, where we're firmly in the fear or extreme fear territory. But at the same time, what's happening now is that I think there is still very large degree of uncertainty in the market. The market is certainly picking up, but I think a lot of people are waiting to see what will happen next. If we look at Bitcoin, and what I'm looking at now is actually price of Bitcoin around, well, March to September 2020, so a couple of years ago. That was, of course, the massive crash at the beginning of the pandemic, or when the lockdowns have started. But the important bit here is when we went above the bull market support band, so here. And we had quite a bit of a move up. That's like from 8,000 to about almost 10,000. So well, that's about 25% move up from the bull market support band level. Then we had a bit of a retest here, but for a long time we stayed above it, and we actually had a decent run above bull market support band. To be honest, we did go more than 50% above the level when we crossed that band. And then we had a significant drop, couple of retests. And if we then zoom out, well, that was the beginning of this massive parabolic run up. Now, the next time when we went above bull market support band was at the end of the summer last year. So of course we had a crash in the spring, stayed below it for pretty much most of the summer, and then went above it in early August. I went above a little bit, had a bit of a dip, but not quite a test. We had a 1 week here, but I remember at the time I'm not sure I think it was just when I was starting actually my videos, but a lot of people were talking about, well, is this enough of a test? Probably not. And we went quite a bit up higher, 52,000 from crossing it at around 44,000, and then crashed significantly, tested it, and then had another proper leg up. And now that's where we are currently. So we are above it. You could argue that we tested it these 2 days, because we certainly had a week spot on to the line and one just above the line, but we had the bottom of a candle touching the support line, and then the other one with a wick well below, and we bounced back up quite nicely. And currently we seem to be trending sideways just above the bull market support band. But I don't think this is enough of a test. Personally, as much as I want to be bullish, I think we will go up a bit or maybe trend sideways for a while. And I feel like we will have another test of the bull market support band, which currently is at around 45,000 and still going down quite rapidly. At the end of the day, at the moment, we are only about $1,000 above it. So it's not really that high. But if we start trending up, imagine going to something like, I don't know, towards 50K. And we were already around 48, I think. Yeah, above 48. So if we can get to sort of 49, 50K territory, then the 5K drop, well, that would be quite noticeable. And it's not much for Bitcoin, but it will hit most likely alts quite hard. So that's why I think a lot of people are still on the fence. And to be honest, I'm one of them. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth getting into those alts right now when they already pumped, well, in some cases like around 50% or even more, or is it worth waiting for a correction? Because to be honest, I think that correction will come. So that's why I'm playing it a bit safe at the moment and essentially just observing the market and waiting to see what will happen over the next few days. If we keep trending sideways, then well, of course, that's not really going to add much clarity to the situation. If we go up, then I'm relatively sure that we may hit again that level around 48, just above 48K and bounce down from that. So that's potentially where we'll be looking at entering some positions. If we hit again that level, we will touch the bull market support band. That's where I'll be looking at potentially entering into some alt positions. I don't have huge amount of cash at the moment on the side, but I'm planning to move some non-crypto assets, liquidate some non-crypto assets, and essentially prepare for that situation. If we look at just very quickly Heikin Ashi candles, well, we can see that the last few days there's been large degree of uncertainty. There's no clarity which way the market is going. If we look at weekly ones though, well, we are quite clearly in an uptrend. Although we had two very strong ones this week, one is slightly weaker, but that's certainly much more of a positive, much clearer move than what we were experiencing here. And then if we look at the monthly one, well, so far we actually have a pretty solid green candle. Okay, it's only the 4th of April, so still a long way to go, but everything so far is pointing at the beginning of a bull run. And I remain reasonably confident that it is indeed the beginning of a bull run. But the question remains whether we'll just go sideways for a bit and then go up, or are we going to retest bull market support band, potentially go up a bit, retest it, and then actually the full-on bull run will resume. And I have a feeling it's going to be the latter, but of course it's just pure speculation. And just as a final note, a bit about NFTs. So like I was saying in my previous videos, we closed March roughly at the same level where we were towards the end of last year. Well, so sort of December and October levels. We'll see how April will look like. At the moment, it looks like we're getting a bit more volume and there are quite a few interesting mints coming up. So I think April may be actually quite strong, but let's wait and see. Yeah, I think that's it from me for today. Overall, I'm remaining optimistic and bullish, but at the same time, I think we should be ready for a dip to test the bull market support band. Whether that will be in the next few days or whether that will be in the next few weeks, it's hard to tell, but I have a feeling that it's coming either later this month or potentially early May. So essentially you have to decide how you want to play it, whether you want to enter positions now hoping that this is the beginning of a bull run, or potentially you want to exit once we hit, I don't know, let's say 50K or whatever, and then wait for the dip. Or are you just going to wait for the dip and wait for that proper confirmation that we are in a full-on bull run? So yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, please pop them in the comment section. If you'd like to find out a bit more how I navigate those markets, please join my Discord. And Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.